Alcaraz out-Nadal'd Sinner. I'm going to explain a little bit later what I mean by that. But context prior to the semifinal match between Alcaraz and Sinner is the following. Sinner on absolute fire, undefeated in 2024. Alcaraz looking to make his first final since. So on paper, Sinner was the favorite. So the match starts. I'm excited about this because I think this is going to be one of the greatest rivalries. I think it can come close to when the big three used to face each other. I'm not going to say it's as good as that yet, but it has the potential to be as good as those matches. So both players hold serve. Sinner's up 2-1. Rain delay. It's been raining a lot in Indian Wells this year. Once they came back from the rain delay, it was all Sinner. He basically blasted Alcaraz off the court. And there was one thing in specific that I thought was a huge advantage for Sinner, and that is the cross-court backhand-to-backhand exchanges. Sinner's backhand overpowers Alcaraz's backhand. When they were rallying, it looked like as if Alcaraz was playing more defense and deflecting, while Sinner was dominating. So Sinner breaks after the rain delay, goes up 3-1, holds serve 4-1, breaks another time 5-1, wins the first set 6-1. So in the second set, Alcaraz held the first game. Sinner serving is 15-love, and Alcaraz takes a cut on the forehand return and hits it for a blazing winner. And you know, sometimes there has been situations where players are way down on the score, like Alcaraz was, and they make a spectacular shot, and all of a sudden, this opens them up, maybe mentally, to start playing better. And Alcaraz did start playing a lot better in the second set. Most importantly, he made some key adjustments to break Sinner's rhythm. So what did he do? Well, he served and volleyed quite a bit on the service games. He started introducing the forehand drop shot, but not too much, only in very specific circumstances. And every time he used that forehand drop shot, he won the point. He also adjusted his first serve return position. He started standing further back in the court, looking to neutralize the rally against Sinner. In other words, giving himself a little bit more time back there to start taking some cuts at some shots. But most importantly, this is to me the biggest key in the match, was the fact that Alcaraz was starting to find his forehand. And if you paid close attention to his second serve return position, he was sneaking over to the doubles alley. So he was obviously looking to hit a forehand on the return. He wanted to dominate more points with his forehand because he knows that the backhand-to-backhand exchanges are going to be tough for him, and his biggest strength by far is his forehand. So because Alcaraz successfully changed his game plan in the second set, we started seeing some mistakes from Sinner that we haven't seen in a long time. So Alcaraz goes up 3-1 in the second, breaks, both players hold serve, and then a key moment when Alcaraz was up 5-3 in the second set, and it was a break point Sinner. Sinner played really well at that particular game. We had another backhand-to-backhand exchange, but this time Alcaraz hit this blistering down-the-line backhand winner down break point. Risky shot, low percentage shot, no doubt about it, but he has to take these chances against Sinner in a neutral backhand baseline exchange because Sinner can overpower him. Now, if he misses this shot and gets broken, it's plausible that Sinner could have easily won that second set, but he didn't. Alcaraz won the second set 6-3. Then early in the third, at 1-all, Sinner started to shank some forehands. In this game in particular, he shanked 2 forehands in a row. He missed the forehand swing volley. And there was also an incident where Sinner ran down a drop shot, slid into it, angled the ball off. Alcaraz bunted the volley down the line, and Sinner basically threw himself to get the ball, which shows you how much of a fighter Sinner is. Sinner might have scuffed up his elbow a little bit and his wrist. And actually, prior to that point, he was limping around a little bit and it looked like he had something wrong with his calf. So it's possible that Sinner was a little bit physically affected in that third set. But the reason why I said in the beginning that Alcaraz out-Nadal'd Sinner is because in the third set, he started playing the ball a lot higher with more spin. This is something that he knows how to do. He grew up on the clay courts in Spain. He is a Spaniard after all, the country that produced the best clay court player in the history of tennis. Alcaraz has a little bit of that in him. So he has the combination where he can hit over 100 miles an hour blistering forehand winners, but he can also put more height on the forehand and put a tremendous amount of heavy topspin on it. So Sinner is someone who likes standing a little bit closer to the baseline and taking the balls a little little bit earlier. In that third set, the heaviness of Alcaraz's ball started producing a lot more errors on Sinner's side. Of course, this has to do a little bit with the surface because, as I mentioned before, Indian Wells is a very gritty surface and the ball responds really well to heavy topspin. So Alcaraz ended up cruising in the third set and winning it 6-2. So to me, this was one of the best Alcaraz matches that I've ever seen for two reasons. Number one, he was able to dismantle a player that's, quite frankly, playing the best tennis in the world. And if you watch that first set, he looked pretty much unbeatable. So he was able to beat the guy that's dominating tennis. But more importantly, this was a match from Alcaraz where he didn't go like this and like this. He wasn't looking to be a showman out there. He played high percentage Nadal-like tennis, which got him the win. To me, that is the key for Alcaraz going forward, is to do less and less of the showmanship and more of the high percentage tennis that he showed in yesterday's semifinal. Alcaraz plays Medvedev, who pulled out another miracle against Tommy Paul. Medvedev lost the first at 6-1. Goes up 4-love in the second, and Paul comes back, he goes into a tiebreak. And Medvedev, first of all, can keep the ball and play forever. One of the most consistent guys that I've ever seen. He's also an unbelievable mover and gets to a lot of balls. He has a lot of variety in his game. But most importantly, the way Medvedev figures out how to win matches, especially coming back from a set or even coming back from 2 sets at Grand Slams, shows you the mental strength that this guy has. And also, he might be one of the greatest tacticians that we're ever seen on the tennis court. Now, I'm going to stick to my prediction from a couple of days ago. I'm going to say that Alcaraz is going to win. On this surface, it's going to be tough for Medvedev. But you know that Medvedev is going to come up with a game plan. He's going to try to make Alcaraz's life as difficult as possible. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Alcaraz will defend this title. I want to finish this video off with a shout out to Matteo Berrettini. Earlier this week, I made a video where I gave a little bit of a tribute to Italian tennis. And when I was talking about the players that were coming up, some of you were wondering why I left Berrettini out. Well, in this video, I was talking about the youngsters that are coming up. Guys that are aged 20, 21, 22. Berrettini happens to be 27. And not only that, he dropped out of the top 150. But there's no doubt that this guy is an absolute beast, Wimbledon finalist, capable of being a top 10 player in the world. Now, Berrettini has been injured for a long time, but this week he played a challenger in Arizona and he battled his way through the final, going deep in most of his matches. 3 sets, 7-6 in the third, battling out there, and if he happens to win today's final, he's officially back in the top 100. At 99 in the world. So in addition to all the other Italian guys that I mentioned in my previous video, Berrettini is of course among these guys. In my opinion, he is the second best after Sinner.